People, Deluded, I'm back again. Now, as the transfer window is starting to heat up, we're seeing a lot of rumors. As we know, 99.9% of them are BS, but it makes for great talking points with you lot. Make sure you're smashing the like button, you're commenting any thoughts that you have, people, and importantly, you're subscribing. Allegedly, Marcus Rashford is of interest to Mikel Arteta. Arsenal are ready to pay Nico Williams' release clause, and there's probably a bunch of other stuff that we have to speak about. So if you allow me to share my screen with you guys, we'll get straight into it. Arsenal ready to trigger Nico Williams' release clause as Martinelli set for new role. Arsenal have joined the string of major clubs seeking to sign athletic club attacking sensation Nico Williams. Chelsea, Barcelona, PSG have all recently been linked with the swaying winger, who has 7 goals and 16 assists in 40 games across all competitions. Now, respectfully, we know we need a winger. We know he's drawn interest from Arsenal as well as other people. So that's for me, that's just a new way of saying what we already know. And again, we are not involved in the world of football, but you hear people are enticed by paying. As you can see, there's 50 million euro release clause, but it's his wage demands. Allegedly earns 200 grand a week already at Bilbao. So if you do sign for PSG, if you do sign for Chelsea, if you do sign for Arsenal on paper, if you join a Premier League team or one of the bigger boys with deeper pockets, you're going to want even more on that. And I'm not saying Nico Williams is a bad player, but if he is on 200 grand a week already, and he gets an upgrade, like he's on 250, 300 and all of that, that's a myth for Arsenal in particular. And then if you're Saka, if you're Saliba, if you're half the core players, you're looking at that and thinking, boy, next negotiating round, I want more money. Of course, I don't really care what we pay for someone or what they get paid. It's not my money, but it's relative cost. I'm sure if he signed for us and he did what he could do and what he's got the potential to do, he's a great player and everyone's happy. But I think that's where it's dead. Allegedly, Arsenal are stepping up their pursuit of the player, people. It's understood the Gunners are prepared to pay this figure, which could be essential in landing the 21-year-old. Reports from Spain indicate Paris Saint-Germain are ready to do the same thing. As we know, he primarily operates on the left and right-hand side, which is Martinelli's territory. This said he could be set for a new role. It's not specific on what's been going on here in relation to what role, but we do need competition and just better options. So that's where Nico Williams is concerned. Romano has been speaking about Arsenal and Aston Villa transfer target Ferdi Kadıkoglu. Forgive me for mispronunciations. Arsenal have been in the market for a left back, and everyone you read from, whether it's the Ornsteins, the Charles Watts, the more the Fabrizio Romano, the more reputable journalists, they all say Arsenal are on the market for another left back and defensive options. What that would mean for Zinchenko on paper or someone like Kyrgios, I'm not too sure. Timber's just signed for the club. Tomiyasu has obviously signed a new deal, people. What does this say? We can look at that as well. But yeah, people, Romano has said Kadıkoglu has always been linked with several clubs. There have been stories about Aston Villa as well as Arsenal, but there is no news yet. A move to the Premier League is a concrete possibility, but for now we have to wait a bit longer and to see which club he could go to. Fair enough. What has this got to say here, people? Where's that article I just opened? Arsenal could, what does it say? Arsenal could reportedly have a 90 million euro transfer bid for Inter Milan for Lautaro Martinez in the works as they look to replace Gabriel Jesus. Now, we've seen that before. We've been linked with him before. Apparently, he's in talks to get a new deal at Inter. He said it. The executives have said it. As I said, we need a striker. We've been linked with him before. Maybe that's where the rumors are coming from. And football is international, but he plays for an Italian club. He's an Argentine international being linked with a British club. And the news has primarily come out of Spain. And again, when players are linked with signing new deals, you tend to see these kind of rumors, people. Lautaro Martinez is a good player. I don't know if he can score enough goals. Of course, he's had some seasons where he could score great goals, but I think he's better as a facilitator. I think some of his best football has come where, like how to a degree he's working with Marcus Thuram at this moment in time. Before it was Lukaku. I don't know if he's a man that could kind of lead the line. Quality player though, and he's the latest name to be linked. We've been linked with Isaac, been linked with Gyökeres, Brian Brobley, who I did a video on. Go and check that out. Gyökeres, even Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins links have resurfaced, people. So draw whatever conclusions your heart is content on, and don't forget to smash the like button. We're still linked with Doué, people. Arsenal are among the clubs set to hold initial talks with Rennes over the potential transfer of exciting young attacking midfielder Doué. And as you can see here, there's a list of clubs. It's almost like a shopping list: Manchester United, Aston Villa, Bayern Leverkusen, Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid, Napoli, have all been name dropped there, people. Apparently, he could be available for a fee in the region of 35 million quid. I'm doing a video, an analytical piece on him, but I think he'd be worth it. I think he's going to be one of the stars of the future. Sources have told Court Offside that Arsenal, Leverkusen, and Napoli are now the three teams set to step up their interest and ask Rennes about Doué in the next few days as they seek to gather information on a potential deal. Arsenal came very close to winning the Premier League, as we know. I'm not going to read the rest because I don't want to trigger PTSD. Now, Smith Rowe is once again being linked with moves away. Allegedly, Crystal Palace are reportedly leading the race for the transfer of the attacking midfielder Emil Smith Rowe. Talks are scheduled to discuss Smith Rowe's future in the coming weeks, with the England international quite possibly on his way out of the Emirates Stadium after a lack of playing time. So we're going to have to see. It's another club linked with him. Romano himself has said, I'm aware of talk of a meeting being scheduled between Smith Rowe and Arsenal, but my understanding is that nothing has been decided on this yet. I think it's an open situation based on the proposals, but at the moment I'm still hearing this quiet situation. So let's see in the next weeks if clubs join the race. Fair enough. And I mean, 2 years left on his deal, turning 24. You need to go and get consistent game time if it isn't going to be here, people. Pardon me. Arsenal have been linked with, again, we've been linked with Osimhen, we've been linked with Marcus Rashford, we've been linked with Elise, so it's firmly silly season. Bruno Gomes is admired at Manchester City as well as Arsenal, but his 100 million price tag is likely to prove a problem, which we already knew. I don't know the credibility, but we've been linked with Ugarte, who shone against us for Sporting in the Europa League a few seasons ago. Obviously was close to going to Chelsea, went to PSG, hasn't quite worked out, and I don't think he's a bad player. Again, don't know if any of this is gospel or truth, but you get the point. Barcelona are willing to listen to offers for Balde this summer, people, which could be of interest to us. We've been linked with Barcelona, fellow Barcelona player like Balde, with Victor Roque, who is struggling for game time at Barcelona, but Xavi has left, so maybe this could be a route of him getting back in. But for what it's worth, Arsenal are targeting a highly rated Brazilian teenager in a bid to make the Barcelona youngster the club's first signing of the summer, which is crazy. The Gunners have been handed the opportunity to make a move for Victor Roque after the forwards reps criticised former boss Xavi's treatment of the Brazilian starlet. Now, the new manager might put a new lease of life into Victor Roque. His agent said, everyone thinks that Victor Roque has to have more minutes and no one understands why the coach doesn't give it to him. Xavi never spoke to the player. I do not understand this situation, but I think it's not good for either party. I've told the boy that what he has to do is work even harder and wait for an opportunity. But I've also seen matches to give him minutes and prominence and thus avoid this unpleasant situation. In my opinion, the team concedes a lot of goals and that doesn't help. So that's putting at the feet of the defenders, really and truly. Joshua Zirkzee has been speaking, people. Allegedly, Joshua Zirkzee has refused to rule out the prospect of leaving Bologna following interest from Arsenal. We all know we're in the market for a forward. He did help his current employers qualify for the Champions League with 11 goals to his name, people. Apparently, he's available for 40 million euros, so in brackets, 34 million pounds, due to a release clause. And apparently, Bayern Munich are due 40% of that deal. So it's great business from Bayern, not necessarily Bologna. At the moment, my head is only in Bologna. I want to recover from the injury and have some nice holidays in the United States with my childhood friends. Then we'll see what happens. Boy, and then he said, I would choose the best for my club. I will only do what makes sense in my heart. And then he said, exactly, that's what I said, and I repeat it. It's clear that for me, it would be wonderful to defend this goal we achieved together. What we experienced was unforgettable. And he said, I arrived here leaving Bayern Munich. I was excited to come to Bologna because I wanted to play. The championship was of a high level and I want to compete. The club already had a clear vision of what it wanted to do, compete, to qualify for Europe. However, no one could have ever thought that this season could go like this. There was an idea of being able to enter Europe, but step by step, not directly into the Champions League. And he's gone on to talk about, how he's excited about such as well. Joshua Zirkzee, on the face of it, people, for me anyways, his playmaking statistics, his goal scoring isn't the best. It's not the most eye-catching, but when you watch him play, in my opinion, he's the modern day forward. Admittedly, I had to save myself like David Raya. I actually forgot a tab because Rashford's in the thumbnail. Well, not even in the thumbnail, on the title, people. Allegedly, AFC Camden has apparently said, and again, I'm not saying these ITKs do or don't know what they're speaking about. I understand Arteta and Rashford have spoken in recent weeks, interest on both sides, but remains to be seen how willing United would be to sell to us. Can't see it happening personally, but would love him at Arsenal. Now, I like the illusion of Rashford. I mean, what I wouldn't like is I don't care about what you get paid, but the wages, is he going to deliver? Is he going to buy in fully to what Mikel Arteta wants in terms of the pressing? As much as Mikel Arteta has shown he can improve players, he's not a miracle worker. He can't save everybody. And it's not 100% clear Marcus Rashford improves Arsenal. Now, that being said, I like his profile. I like, him on the transition. I like the fact that he could play off the left. I don't think he'll ever be cut out to play up front, but there is a role he could play. I do think Mikel Arteta could put an arm around him and show him some quality. Obviously, him being British, it ties in what we're doing. And to be fair, Marcus Rashford on the left / Martinelli and Bukayo Saka on the right, Trossard and all these other players, Kai and whatnot, it'd be problematic, really. But would Man United even sell Marcus Rashford to us? Does he even want to leave Manchester United, especially as they're probably going to get a new manager? Who knows, people? But on that note, that's all there is to really discuss, man. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Peace.